Caregiving can sometimes feel like an impossible struggle. Caregivers may be torn between taking care of loved ones and trying to maintain balance in life. The good news is that it doesn't have to be that way. The Caring Generation with host Pamela D Wilson is here to focus on the conversation of caring. You're not alone. In fact, you're in exactly the right place to share stories and learn tips and resources to help you and your loved ones. So now, please welcome the host of The Caring Generation, Pamela D Wilson.
This is Pamela D. Wilson, caregiving expert, speaker, consultant, and guardian of the Caring Generation. The Caring Generation focuses on the conversation of caring, giving us permission to talk about aging, the challenges of caregiving, and everything in between. It's no surprise that needing care or becoming a caregiver changes everything. The Caring Generation is here to guide you along the journey and let you know that you're not alone. You are in exactly the right place to share stories and learn about caregiving programs and resources to help you and your loved ones plan for what's ahead. Invite your parents, spouses, family, friends, colleagues, coworkers, and everyone you know to listen to the show, available on podcast apps worldwide. If you have a question or an idea for a future program, share your idea with me by commenting on my social media posts on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can also go to my website, PamelaDWilson.com, and fill out the Caregiver survey under the Contact Me tab. Welcome to this week's episode of the Caring Generation podcast. It's number 183, Why Self-Care is Important Regardless of Age. This is the second episode of the new format called Take 15. We're all so busy juggling life, so in this 15-minute podcast, I'm answering caregivers' questions by sharing situations and practical solutions you can put into practice immediately, whether you find this podcast episode today or any time in the future. So the topic of why self-care is important, regardless of age, offers insights into why devoting time to physical and mental health is important to make life more enjoyable over the long run. Self-care offers lifetime benefits of becoming more resilient and less likely to need increasing care or assistance from others as you age. You can check out the Caring Generation podcast number 43 for more specific details about self-care activities. This podcast focuses on the benefits of self-care for lifetime health. If you have parents, no matter what their age or their health status, share this podcast episode with them. While everybody in the family may be perfectly healthy today, all caregivers know that health can change in the blink of an eye. You or a loved one might need care tomorrow. Let me give you a few reasons why self-care, however you define self-care, remember podcast number 43, is important. Persons who make self-care a regular part of life more easily bounce back from challenges. A regular self-care routine can make it easier to respond to unexpected health issues because of being mentally and physically stronger. Self-care supports being proactive, mindful, and practical when making decisions. Research confirms it becomes more challenging to repair the body as it ages. This really is not a topic anybody wants to discuss or even admit until something happens. Considering factors of aging and what happens is why it is essential to do everything you can today to look after your health and well-being to minimize age-related problems. If you want to be and stay healthy and lead a fulfilling life, I'll share information to consider and actions you can take to learn and educate parents, your children, and loved ones so that everyone can live a good retirement. To begin, ask yourself, do you want to exist in your later years or live the full and active life of your dreams while having a sense of purpose and independence? This is a choice everyone can make, but only if you take action to make it happen earlier in life. Age can be a number or it can be something to fear. What will you choose? Let's talk about resilience momentarily because self-care contributes to the ability to bounce back regardless of your age. There are two types of resilience. The first is physical resilience, which is the ability of the body to recover from a decline after a brief, unexpected illness or a long-term illness that is not going to go away. The second, mental or psychological resilience, is the ability to adapt in response to difficult situations, experiences of trauma, threats, or just plain old stress. Caregivers and persons experiencing health issues benefit from self-care habits that support physical and psychological resilience. How many of you have noticed that two people of the same age can look drastically different in their appearance and approach to life? There are very young 100-year-olds and very old 60-year-olds. Which do you want to be? An effect of stress on caregivers and persons with poor health is the idea of perseverating, which means remembering and repeating an action in your mind long after an event has occurred. Do you relive arguments you had with a loved one? Do you constantly complain about siblings who don't help care for your aging parents? Do you relive the events of a car accident or another event that didn't work out as you hoped? If so, you may be perseverating. When perseverating, your mind can take over and increase the trauma memories that you feel because you are thinking and you're reliving that event over and over and over again. People who perseverate have a greater difficulty moving past unpleasant events or circumstances. Perseveration is like listening to the sound of a needle on a record, skipping and skipping. The needle gets stuck in a groove and it can't move ahead. An uncontrolled brain does the same thing. So, in a sense, resilience measures how people respond after a stressful event. Another example is a 100-year-old house. Whether or not that house was maintained over time makes a difference in its ability to withstand daily use, aging, components and materials, and the effects of exterior factors like weather, storms, rodents, shifting ground. A 100-year-old house can be solid if the owner set aside money and they do the work to update the electrical, plumbing, air conditioning, heating systems, roof, windows, and other interior and exterior features. If this happens, the cost to maintain and keep that home up are likely to be pretty manageable. But if the opposite happens and there's no home maintenance, then that 100-year-old, similar to a 100-year-old body, will be weak and falling apart due to lack of attention. Similarly, individuals who see a physician once a year for self-care, for a checkup and follow through with tests, following through with medical recommendations and preventative care, will more likely be in better physical and mental condition. Over time, this attention and this personal investment in self-care and health increases the likelihood that you will be able to identify health issues early, before they've gone too far and become irreversible problems or create significant healthcare expenses. How much time are you devoting to self-care and your health? Actions like going for medical checkups and getting your teeth cleaned might seem simple, but they go a long way toward managing the not-so-pleasant effects of aging that we will all experience. Let's look at how self-care can make dealing with stressful situations easier. Dealing with difficult people or problems within your family, at work, at school, with a neighbor, with insurance companies, medical providers, or other people can be super stressful if you don't have the mental tools to respond constructively. Blowing up in anger or frustration does not make dealing with difficult people or problems easier, although it might feel really good for a couple of seconds. So when difficulties arise, you can defend yourself or meet the problem head on using coping strategies. Coping strategies can include finding the motivation to solve a problem. Learning from a situation can also increase your self-confidence. Being defensive versus finding the motivation to solve problems can mean the difference between living in fear and worry or focusing and delivering a result. As you know, experiencing stress can be mentally distracting. The good news is that everyone can learn new habits and skills. Having a positive mindset and realizing that change comes from within, not from others, is critical to moving forward from perseveration about what might have gone wrong or what will go wrong to creating a better future. By managing thoughts about worries and concerns like unexpected health problems, medical treatments, and even how you're going to pay for care, it's possible to choose how to respond to others with courage and kindness. Never underestimate the effect of a kind word or a gesture. We need these. With stress, negative words and emotions quickly take over. The world simply needs more kind people. Learning to shift your attention to useful thoughts and behaviors is another valuable coping skill. Everyone can do things beyond their comfort zone. As a caregiver or the person who needs care, maybe you feel isolated, alone, depressed, or fearful. You might be surprised to learn that many other people are in the same situation. Here are a couple of options. Consider joining an in-person or online support group to share your story and your feelings. Find an activity you enjoy, self-care. Schedule time for yourself, whether reading, crafting, praying, exercising, meditating, cooking, doing yard work, attending a social group or an event. A stressed out brain must have time away from focusing on the same subject or constantly worrying about events that may or may not happen. The beauty of self-care is that this definition is up to you. Remember, podcast number 43. Self-care might be going fishing or playing golf. It might be a trip to the beauty shop or a massage. Whatever it is, it's something that makes you feel good and is not detrimental to your health, your well-being, or other people. So no violence, no substance or drug abuse, or any activity that can be harmful. Realize that being a caregiver or the person with health issues means losing control of your life and dealing with ongoing uncertainty, which makes self-care necessary regardless of your age. If you feel life is out of control, focus on what you can influence, even if this seems limited to only how you respond. Instead of focusing on problems immediately before you, find a way to research and identify the bigger picture that is filled with opportunities and blessings and good things. You've probably heard the saying, you can look at life as a glass half full or a glass half empty. Which will you choose? There also may be situations where you feel unable or unequipped to make decisions. If so, seek help. Research options and ask questions to make the best decisions. Realize that even still, situations can and they will change, much to our detriment, right? And revised decisions may be necessary. Responding to changing circumstances is this external process that benefits from mental resilience that we gain from self-care. Coming to terms with life changes, even unpleasant ones, can help move us forward. There may be a sense of realizing that controlling a situation is impossible because your response is the only thing you can control. This realization, though, can open the door to a new beginning, a fresh start, an understanding of the next steps that it takes to move ahead. The challenges caregivers and persons needing care face often mean that one door closes and another opens. It's easy to struggle with this desire to stay behind in old familiar ways, but doing so can eliminate options and opportunities for really what might become a better life. So instead of remaining inner focused, focus on exterior events and gain the confidence to move ahead one step at a time through supporting your self-care. Think about how you worked through difficult times in the past and you succeeded. Choose to rewrite or reframe your current story to feel optimistic. You can do it. Imagine a better future so that you can make choices and take actions to do whatever is necessary, even though it may seem really hard or seemingly impossible. You can do it. Life means working through good times and bad times, through stability, through change, through challenge, through trauma, through things that we honestly just don't want to do, and also through beautiful and amazing times. Realize that everyone starts from a different place when all these struggles begin. Not everyone has the same coping skills or the ability to persevere and keep going. Motivate others. Be kind to yourself and others as you go through life. Identify what self-care means for you and make it a daily priority to grow your physical and mental resilience, to move through every obstacle in life, and to find ways to help loved ones do the same so that everyone in your family can create the life of your dreams to be healthier in the future, one day at a time. I thank you for being here. Please check out over 180 episodes and share this podcast with everyone that you know so that we can extend the support, education, and love that so many caregivers and the persons who receive care need. This is Pamela D Wilson, caregiving expert on the caring generation. I look forward to being with you again soon. God bless you all, sending love and light to everyone. Sleep well tonight, have a fabulous day tomorrow, and enjoy each day until we are here together again.
Tune in each week for The Caring Generation with host Pamela D. Wilson. Come join the conversation and see how Pamela can provide solutions and peace of mind for everyone. Here on Pamela D. Wilson's The Caring Generation.